Good morning all of you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Ruby Management Academy. This is Rubina. Hope you all are doing well guys with your exam preparation for 2022. Today I come up with one more new concept for you guys, that is corporate governance model. As we know, recently in the 2021 NET exam we have seen one question on this corporate governance model. That is the reason I come up with this concept. Before going to discuss these models, let us have a glance about these corporate governance. What is the purpose of this corporate governance? How it will be helpful towards the company? These are all the points we will be discussed before going to discuss the models of corporate governance. Before going to start, let me say one thing. Those who are not subscribed yet, kindly do subscribe and share the channel to your friends guys. Here, what is corporate governance? What is corporate governance? Corporate governance in the business context, we can say that it is a system of rules, practices and process by which companies are governed. The main purpose of this corporate governance is to help build an environment of trust, transparency and accountability necessary for fostering long-term investment, financial stability and business integrity, thereby supporting stronger growth and more inclusive societies. What is the main purpose guys? The main purpose of this corporate governance, it will help to build an trust, transparency, accountability for forecasting the long-term investment, financial stability, and business integrity. Thereby supporting stronger growth for inclusive society. In today's market-oriented economy and with the effect of globalization, the importance of corporate governance is growing. This is due to the fact of governance being an important way of ensuring transparency that makes sure the interest of all shareholders. The governance ensures everyone in the organization follows appropriate and transparent decision making process, and that the interest of all shareholders and stakeholders to be protected. What is the difference between these shareholders and stakeholders guys? As we know, from PG we are going to aware of these words like shareholders and stakeholders. What is the difference between these two guys? Here we already know that the shareholders are the owners of the company. What about the stakeholders? Shareholders are the owners of the company. What about the stakeholders? Stakeholders may not be the owners but have interest over the company's efforts. In shareholders are present only in the company which is limited by the shares, whereas in stakeholders every company have stakeholders. Shareholders include equity shares and preference shares. Shareholders include preference shares and equity shares compared to stakeholders. Under stakeholders include creditors, government, customers, employees, all are comes under stakeholders. Creditors, employees, customers, government, all these are comes under stakeholder. These stakeholders may not be the owners but having the interest over the company's affairs. This is the main difference between these stakeholders and shareholders. The main purpose of this corporate governance helps to build the environment of trust, transparency for forecasting the long-term investment. long-term investment. This corporate governance deals with the way the investor makes sure they get a fair return on their investment. Whatever the amount they are going to be invest on that company, they are ensured that the fair return on their investment are getting or not. In corporate governance, there is a clear distinction between the role of the owners of a company and the manager when it comes to making effective strategic decision making. In this way, the corporate governance model followed by a specific company in the distribution of rights and responsibilities by all participants in the organization. This is the concept of corporate governance and the purpose of corporate governance, and what is the role in the market. Let us discuss what are the main features and what are the positive impacts of corporate governance in the company. What are all the positive impacts are affecting on the companies regarding corporate governance? A good corporate governance system should be ensured that the management of the company considers the best interest of everyone, and also it helps companies deliver long-term corporate success and economic growth. Whatever the investment the shareholders are doing, in returns they are getting the fair results or not. This also helpful in maintaining the confidence of investors, and as a consequence, companies raise capital efficiently and effectively. This corporate governance has a positive impact on the price of shares as it improves the trust in the market, and also it helps to create the strong brand reputation, and it is most importantly it makes companies more resilient, more flexible. It is more flexible. It gives guidance to the owners and managers about what the goal strategy of the company. And also this corporate governance will helpful to minimize the wastages, corruption, risk and mismanagement. This corporate governance will helpful to minimize all these things. It improves the control over the management and information system. These are the positive impacts. These are all the positive impacts are having the corporate governance in the company. The main important points of what you have to be remember, guys. It helps to companies deliver long-term corporate success and economic growth. It helps to create a strong brand reputation. It helps to give a guidance to the owners and managers. It improves control over the management. It is having a positive impact on the shares. It maintains the confidence of the investors, and as a consequence companies raise capital effectively. This is the main points which you have to remember for the exam, in the examination point of view. Hope you understood this corporate governance concept and what is the purpose of this corporate governance, and what is the importance and what are the impacts or affecting on this corporate governance towards the companies. Let us go to the models of corporate governance. Here we are having these 4 types of models in the corporate governance. What are they? Anglo-American model, German model, Japanese model, Indian model. Corporate form of business is generally managed by the board of directors, and the board members are elected by shareholders. The board in turn appoints the professional managers to manage the business. As we know, different countries have different regulations, and corporate governance models differ based on these differences. There are many models of corporate governance in the world, and there is no universal best choice, because the choice of the best model for a company depends on not only on its goals, motivation, mission and business context, but also on their economic, legal, political and social framework. In this video, we are going to be discuss these 4 models in detail. The first one is Anglo-American model. Anglo-American model we can also call it as a Anglo-Saxon model. This is one of the main feature of this Anglo-American model. What we can also call this Anglo-American model, Anglo-Saxon model. This was crafted by the more individualistic business societies in the Great Britain and United States. Under the Anglo-American model of corporate governance, the shareholder rights are recognized and given importance. The main important point you have to be remember in this model is the corporate governance. The shareholder rights are recognized and given importance. Under this model, shareholder rights are recognized and given importance. This is the main theme of this Anglo-American model, where you have to be remember. They have the right to elect all the members of the board and board directs the management of the company. This model presents the board of directors and shareholders as the controlling parties. The managers and the chief officers ultimately have the secondary authority. The controlling authority will be given to first to whom? Board of directors and shareholders. Under this model, the first authority will be given to the board of directors. First authority will be given to the board of directors and shareholders. The second authority will be given to the ultimately to the chief executive officers and managers of the company. And what are the features of these models? Here are some of the features are having in this model. This is shareholder oriented model. As I told you, this corporate governance model, the shareholder rights are recognized and given importance. Under this Anglo-American model, given the main importance towards the shareholders' interest. This is one of the feature of this model. It is also called as Anglo-Saxon model, as I told you in the beginning. Directors are rarely independent of the management. Mostly they are dependent towards their work. The companies are run by the professional managers who have negligible ownership stake. There is a clear separation of ownership and management. Institutional investors like banks and mutual funds are portfolio investors. When they are not satisfied with the company's performance, they simply sell their shares in the market and quit that company. The disclosure norms are comprehensive and rules against the insider trading are tight. Whenever the insider trading are tight, the disclosure norms are against. The small investors are protected and large investors are discouraged to take active role in the corporate governance. The capital markets are characterized by high transparency. And one more feature of this model is it measures of success is the share price and the dividend. The main feature of this model is it measures the success is the share price and the dividend. These are the some of the features of Anglo-American model. This is the shareholder oriented model. Directors are rarely independent. Companies are run by the professional managers. Institutions investors like banks and mutual funds are portfolio investors. This is happened when they are not satisfied with the company's performance. The disclosure norms are comprehensive and the rules against. The small investors will be protected and large investors should be discouraged. The capital markets are characterized by the high transparency and it measures the success of the share price and the dividend. These are the important features of Anglo-American model. In Anglo-American countries, shareholders hold few percentage of the total number of shares that are publicly traded, and most shares are in the hands of agents of financial institutions. Moreover, in the USA and the UK, many companies are listed and their shares are publicly traded, which means that there is a little personal contact with their shareholders. Also, black holders. What does it mean? So, black holders means owners of the large shares, large company shares. For them, we can call it as a black holders. In the USA are less common than in Europe. Because of these greater focus on these interests of independent persons and individual shareholders, this model is commonly referred to as the shareholders model. Hence, in countries where most companies follow this governance model, there is a high individual power to hold shares and make investment in the capital market. As a consequence, there is a high depression of capital. Most of the shareholders hold few percentage of the total number of shares that are publicly traded, and these shares are mostly in the hands of agents of financial institutions. This is all about the Anglo-American model. Let us go to see the structure of Anglo-American model. As we discussed just now, this structure will be starts with the shareholder owners. As I told you, this model gives the main importance to the shareholders' interest. It starts with the shareholders. They elect the board of directors. The board of directors will appoint the managers and chief executive officers for the company, and these chief executive officers are the accountable towards the board of directors. Whatever will be happen in the company, they will be the accountable to the board of directors, and these board of directors are the accountable towards the shareholders. These managers will control the internal activities and they will operate the internal activities of the company, and then they will reporting to the stakeholders. As I told you, under the stakeholders, who will come? Employees, suppliers, creditors, communities, government, all are comes under the stakeholders. This is the structure of Anglo-American model. The main importance will be given to the shareholders' interest. They will elect the board of directors. Board of directors will be appointed the officers, chief executive officers and managers of the company. These managers will control the internal operating activities and they will report to the stakeholders. Let us go to the next model, German model. The second one is German model. The German model, sometimes we can also call it as a continental model or European model or two-tier board model. Mostly we can call it as a two-tier model, two-tier board model, because it is carried out by two groups, that is supervisory council and executive board. Executive in the sense management board. That is the reason we can call it as a two-tier board model. The executive board in the charge of corporate management. The supervisory council control the executive board. Supervisory board will control the executive board. The workers are considered the key stakeholders in the company and can have the right to participate in the management of the company. Let me have what is the difference between what are the actions done by the executive board and the supervisory board. The executive board dominated by the top management, whereas supervisory board will be dominated by the employees or the workers. Supervisory board will be dominated by the employees and the workers. Under executive board, board engages in the general and routine activities of the business. They engages routine activities of the business, whereas the supervisory board, it controls the major business decision. As I told you in the definition, in the German model, supervisory board will control the executive board. It means that the supervisory board having the majority of the rights compared to executive board. In executive board, the supervisory board appoints and monitors the management board. The supervisory board has the right to dismiss the management board and reconstitute the same, because the supervisory board having the major rights towards the executive board. Whenever he wants to dismiss the board, he can dismiss and he can reconstitute the same. This supervisory board, the shareholders elect the members of supervisory board. The employees also elect the representative for the supervisory board, which are generally 1/3 of or half of the board. These are the actions which done by the executive board and supervisory board. This executive board mainly dominated by the management, top management. This supervisory board having the right to control the executive board. Let me know what are the features of German model, that is the 2-tier board model. The corporate governance is exercised through boards. What are they? Just now I told you 2-tier board. Executive board, one is executive board and supervisory board. Executive board in the sense management board. These two boards will be exercised by the corporate governance. The upper board supervises the executive board on behalf of stakeholders. The corporate governance approach is typically societal oriented. Shareholders own the company, but they don't entirely dictate the governance mechanism. As I told you, the difference between the shareholders and stakeholders. They may not be the owners, but they can having the right to dictate the governance mechanism. 50% of the members of supervisory board is elected by the shareholders, and the remaining 50 is appointed by the labor unions, employees, customers, creditors, government, etc. The supervisory board appoints and monitors the management board. This supervisory board having the major rights to dismiss the management board and reconstitute the same. The management board independently conducts the day-to-day operations of the company but reports to the supervisory board only. These are the main features of German model. What are they? It is a 2-tier based model. What are the 2 types? Supervisory board and management board. This supervisory board having the major rights towards the management board. Whenever it want to dismiss the management board, it can, and it can be reconstitute the same. The corporate governance approach is typically societal oriented. As we know, shareholders who own the company, they don't entirely dictate the governance mechanism. They may be the owners of the company, but they can't be dictate the governance mechanism. The stakeholders having the right to dictate the governance mechanism. Here the 50% members are elected by the supervisory board, and the remaining 50% will be elected by the stakeholders. Those are labor unions, creditors, government, customers, and the labor unions. The management board independently conducts the day-to-day operations, but they have to report to the supervisory board only. This is the concept of German model. Let me see the structure of German model. As I told you, 50% of the members of supervisory board elected by the shareholders, and the remaining 50 will be elected by the employees and labor unions. They will appointed the supervisory board. The supervisory board will be appointed the managers and chief executive officers of the company. They will monitor the internal operating activities and they will report to the company. This is the structure of German model. Usually a large majority of stakeholders are banks and financial institutions. Who are the large majority of the shareholders? Banks and financial institutions. The shareholders can appoint only 50% of members. This is the reason the shareholders can appoint only 50% of the members to constitute the supervisory board, and the rest of them will be appointed by the labor unions. What is the reason? Because usually large majority of the shareholders are banks and institutions. This is the reason that they have the major powers to appoint only 50% of members of the constitution of supervisory board. Let us discuss the third model, that is Japanese model. This Japanese model we can also call it as a business network model, or in Japanese language Kairetsu network. What does it mean, guys? Kairetsu means a group of companies. Group are together. Group of companies that are closely connected for example, because they own shares in each other and that work together to develop and protect each other businesses. That is the reason we can call it as a business network model. They work together to develop and protect each other businesses, which reflect the cultural relationship seen in the Japanese network, in which board tend to be a large, predominantly executive and often ritualistic. The reality of power in the enterprise lies in the relationship between the top management in the companies. In Japanese model, the financial institutions plays a crucial role in the governance. The shareholders and the main bank together appoint the board of directors and the president. The shareholders and the bank, shareholders and banks, shareholders and bank together appoint the board of directors and president. Here Japanese model is the outlier of the three. Governance pattern takes shape in light of two dominant legal relationships. One is between shareholders, customers, suppliers, creditors and employee unions. Other between administrators, managers and shareholders. This model takes the shape in the light of two dominant legal relationships. What are they? Two dominant legal relationship. What are they? One is between shareholders, customers, suppliers, creditors and employee unions. Other between administrator, managers and shareholders. There is a sense of joint responsibility and a balance to the Japanese model. The Japanese word for this balance is kairetsu. As I told you the meaning also, group of companies that are closely connected. They work together to develop and protect their businesses. Japanese regulators play a large role in corporate policies. Because corporation major stakeholders include Japanese officials only. The central banks and the Japanese Ministry of Finance review relationship between different groups and have implicit control over the negotiations. Japanese having the regulator play a large role in the corporate policies often. First Japanese model of corporate governance. Here two points we have to be remember. The first point is Japanese model of corporate governance ensures the same direction of all corporations development as representative of the government have a right to participate in the board of directors performance and making decision process. This is the first point where we have to be remember. Same direction of all corporations development as representative of the government having the right to participate in the board of directors performance having the right to perform and taking the decisions. And the second point where we have to be remember, as a corporation in Japan have a form of financial and industrial conglomeration. The representative of the main financial institution are included to the board of directors and can participate in its performance as well. The mentioned features are the key exceptions of Japanese model in comparison to others. These are the main features of Japanese model. These are the 2 points where we have to be remember. Let me see the structure of Japanese model. A corporation structure is characterized by the common industrial and financial usage of loans and share capital. Informal channels of communication and sharing information and cross shareholding. Most Japanese corporations don't involve any outsider board members. As we know, the Japanese corporations don't involve any outsiders. They don't involve any outsiders. As a rule, the board of directors consists of representatives of a company and main shareholders. In addition, the government plays an important role. Here, the government plays an important role in the management as well. The government is involved in strategic planning and ensures the representation of formal or informal interest in the board of directors. A corporation goals are formed for the satisfaction of shareholders' needs, accompanied with promoting governmental interest. It is crucial for a Japanese model of corporate governance to build up a new business connections rather than to balance the interest of the shareholders. Under Anglo-American model, shareholder interest will be given main importance. Shareholders interest. For shareholder interest will be given the main importance. Whereas in Japanese model, it helps to build up a new business connections rather than to balance the interest. New business connection rather than to balance the interest of the shareholders. This is the structure of Japanese model. Shareholders are the owners. They will appoint the supervisory board. they will take the decision, they will participate in the decision making process in order to elect the president. Here the president will consult towards the board of directors, and they will manage the internal operational activities in the company. What are the common features between German model and Japanese model? Let us have a glance on what are the common features between the German and Japanese model. The first common feature is banks and financial institutions have substantial stakes in the equity capital of companies. The institutional investors in both the countries view themselves as long-term investors. They play a fairly active role in the corporate management. As I told you, this Japanese model will be having a crucial role for developing the new business connections rather than to balance the interest of the shareholders. And the third one is the disclosure norms are not very stringent, not very tough, strict. Checks on insider trading are not very comprehensive and effective, and emphasis on liquidity is not high. There is hardly any system of corporate governance in these countries. Mergers and takeovers are rare occurrence. Mergers and takeovers are the rare occurrence compared to other models. This is the main common features of German and Japanese model. Let me know what are the main features between these three governance models. As of now, we have discussed Anglo-American model, German model, Japanese model. Let me know what are the main features having among these three. This Anglo-Saxon model. What is the other name for Anglo-American model? Anglo-Saxon model. What is the other name for German model? Continental model, Europe model, or two-type board model. The Anglo-Saxon model oriented towards the stock market compared to German model and Japanese model. And the German model, it is the oriented towards the banking market and banking market. It considers the Anglo-Saxon model considers the shareholders' property right. It considers under this Anglo-Saxon model, what I told you, it gives the main importance towards the interest of shareholders. Here it considers shareholders' property rights, whereas in continental model, shareholder property rights and company's relationship with its employees. This continental model also focusing on the shareholders' property rights, along with what it considers the relationship between its employees, relationship with its employees. In Japanese model, it considers the stakeholders' interest. As I told you, stakeholders, who are comes under stakeholders, company, employees, government, creditors, unions. Those are all comes under stakeholders. This Anglo-Saxon model, what is the structure of this Anglo-Saxon model? It is dispersed, whereas in continental model it is concentrated. In Japanese model it is concentrated. Some of these common features between this German model and Japanese model, as we can see in this diagram. Under Anglo-Saxon model, the management of executive directors or non-executive directors will manage this company, whereas in continental Europe, supervisory board of directors will be take the major role in the decision making process, whereas in Japanese model, board of directors and revision commission will be there along with this board of directors committee. This Anglo-Saxon model is an external control system compared to this continental and Japanese model. The accounting systems used by the Anglo-Saxon model is GAAP, whereas in continental IFRS, Japanese having the accounting system of these both. Here are some of the strengths and weaknesses of these three models. Anglo-Saxon model is a continuous discipline model. This is the main strength of this Anglo-Saxon, and it is a transparency compared to continental and Japanese model. Under continental European model, it is a little bit having the risk compared to Anglo-Saxon and Japanese model. The weakness of these Anglo-Saxon model is the failures are, whereas in European model having the slow reaction. Under Japanese model, resistance to change. These are the weaknesses of these three models. And the last one is Indian model. Indian model. In Indian model, there are mainly three types of companies. This Indian model, we can also say that it is a combination of German and Japanese model. Combination of German and Japanese model. In India, there is mainly three types of companies. What are they? Private companies, public companies, public sector undertaking. Means who will come? Statutory companies will come, government companies will come, banks and other financial institutions all are comes under public sector undertaking. These are the main three types of companies that Indian model have. Each of these companies has a distinct kind of shareholding pattern, having different shareholding pattern. Thus the corporate governance model in India is a mix of, as I told you, it is a mix of Anglo-American and German model. Indian model is the mix of Anglo-American model and German model. Each of these corporations have a distinct pattern of shareholding. In case of companies, the promoter and his family has almost complete control over the company. Whereas in case of companies, the promoter and his family almost having the complete control over the company, and they depend less on the outside equity capital. Depend less on outside equity capital. Hence, in private companies, the German model of corporate governance is followed. In India, most of the cases, company's board is dominated by the family members or founders, as they have maximum shareholders of their companies. Promoters and family members have almost all control over the company. They depend less on outside capital. Hence, there is no instance corporate failures in Indian companies due to systematic management of family promoters. In Indian model of corporate governance, the shareholders have right to elect the members of board. Under Indian model, the shareholders having the right to elect the members of board. Shareholders having the right to elect the board members. The primary role of board of members is to formulate all policies and strategy for top management and monitoring their performance. Government regulatory agencies and stock exchange keep control on company through various codes, policies, etc. For sustainable development, a corporation takes care of stakeholders' interests who are directly and indirectly attached to the company. 1 minute, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. Let us continue the concept. What we are discussing: for sustainable development, a corporation takes care of shareholders' interests who are directly and indirectly attached to the company. This is all about the Indian model. Under Indian model, shareholders having the right to elect the board members, and primary role of these board members is to formulate the policies and strategy for top management and monitoring their performances. Let me see the structure of Indian model. As I told you, having the shareholders having the right to elect the board members, they will appoint the management. These are all the outsiders of Indian model. Government, customers, labor, suppliers will regulate the board members and management. This is all about the four types of corporate governance models, guys. Let me give the overview about these four models. The first one is Anglo-American model. Under Anglo-American model of corporate governance, the shareholders' rights are recognized and given importance. Under Anglo-American model, what we can also call Anglo-Saxon model. Under this model, shareholder rights will give the importance. Shareholder rights are recognized and given importance. Shareholder rights will be recognized. Shareholder rights recognized and given the importance towards them. Whereas in German model, what is the second one? German model. What we can also call it as this German model, continental model or two-tier based model or European model. These are the names of German model. Under this German model of corporate governance, the workers are considered the key stakeholders in the company and can have the right to participate in the management of the company. Under this German model, the workers are considered the key stakeholders. Workers are the key stakeholders in the company and can have the right to participate in the management of the company. Whatever the decisions taken by the management, here the workers having the right to participate in the management of the company. What is the third one? Guys? Japanese model and German model. What we have discussed in the Japanese model, widely in Japanese model, what is the main important points we have to be remember? The first one is Japanese model of corporate governance ensures the same direction of all corporation developments. As representative of the government, have a right to participate in the board of directors, performance and making decision process. Here the government having the right to participate in the directors, performance and making decision process. And the second point we have to be remember in the Japanese model is in the financial and industrial conglomeration. Main financial institutions are included to the board of directors and can participate in the performance as well. This is about German model. Japanese model, sorry. Japanese model, government having the right to participate in the management of the company, in the decision making process. And what about the fourth one, Indian model? Indian model, it is a mixture of Anglo and German model. Indian model, it is a mixture of Anglo and German model. Talking about the Indian market, there are mainly three types of companies that operate. What I have told, three main types of companies. What are they? Private companies, public sector undertaking. Under public sector undertaking, what will come? Financial institutions, companies, employees, other financial institutions will be comes under government, other financial institutions will be comes under public sector undertaking. These companies have a specific shareholding pattern and thus requires a specific understanding. The Indian model of corporate governance thus suits them the best. It is primarily a mix of Anglo-American and German model of corporate governance. This is all about the four types of corporate governance model. Shall I tell you once again this overview? Anglo-American model, German model, Japanese model, Indian model. Under Anglo-American model, shareholders' rights will be recognized and giving the main importance towards the shareholders compared to German and Japanese model. Under German model, workers will be given an importance to participate in the management performance and taking the decisions. In Japanese model, government will having the right to taking the decision process and will participate in the management of the company's performance. Indian model, it is a mix of Anglo and German model. It will operate by the mainly three types of companies. Those are private, public and public sector undertakings. These companies have specific shareholding pattern and thus require specific understanding. This Indian model will suit them the best compared to other corporate governance models. Hope you understood all these governance model and the purpose of this governance. What are the features it have? If you have any doubts, kindly let me know. Leave a comment in the comment box. I will try to resolve your doubts. And leave a comment on which topic you want me to make an video, so that in next time I will come up according to your comments. If you want this PDF, you can join in my official Telegram channel. There you can download it. I will be posting in the Telegram channel. Hope you all are enjoyed this session. Before going to leave this session, kindly subscribe the channel and like the video and hit the bell icon so that you can get more updates time to time. Until then, signing off. Bye bye.